So getting in your comfortable position tonight and just letting yourself arrive to your mat. And focusing on the breathing, deepening the breath. Noticing the rise and fall of the belly. And so tonight we have a full moon, and it's a full moon in Scorpio. In Scorpio, this particular full moon is all about transitions and kind of change, like that transformation. And I believe whether we wanted to or not, we were kind of forced into this space anyways by what was, going on while we were removed from our everyday lives. And during that time, you get a lot of alone time to yourself, a lot of self-reflecting, whether you want to or not. And then you have this opportunity to transform. So this particular full moon is all about that transformation. It's time to shed the old parts of yourself and then tap into your deepest desires and passions, and then moving down that road. And so begin to turn your attention inward and start to listen to your highest self. So what is it that you want? At this point in your journey, thinking about that word transforming, shedding old parts, and tapping into your desires and passions. What is it that you want? We're going to deepen our breath, but we're going to allow each breath, every inhale and every exhale, to have an intention. So on every inhale, you're going to silently say to yourself, I want blank. And on every exhale, you will silently say to yourself, I no longer want blank. So as you're doing this exercise, you may find that you're repeating yourself, and that's fine. Or you may change it every single time you take a breath in or take a breath out. So it's on every inhale, you're saying to yourself, I want. Every exhale, I no longer want. So let's practice breathing in this way. So inhaling through the nose, silently saying to yourself, I want blank. And on that exhale, I no longer want blank. Inhaling through the nose, I want blank. Exhaling, I no longer want blank. Keep breathing just like that. Inhaling, I want. Exhaling, I no longer want. And see what comes up for you. And things don't have to be big. They could be little small things. What is it in your life that brings you joy and happiness and that you want? And what is it that you no longer want? And then with those eyes closed, begin to imagine that you are staring at yourself in the mirror. What's the first thing you notice when you look at yourself in that mirror? And notice your demeanor. Do you look happy, sad? Continue staring into your own eyes. And ask yourself the question, if today was the last day of my life, would I want to do something I'm not currently doing? And what is holding you back from doing that? What fears hold you down and back? This is where the transformation happens. The self-awareness of understanding what we truly want, where our blocks are, and how we can release that. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it go. Just observing how you feel and doing your best to always listen to your highest self. When she transformed into a butterfly, the caterpillar spoke, not of her beauty, but of her weirdness. They wanted her to change back into what she had always been. But she had wings now. She could never go back. Go ahead and set your intention for practice tonight. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Opening the mouth, exhale. And gently begin to roll to that right hand side, finding your fetal position. Drawing the knees into the chest, chin into the chest. Pausing there for a moment. Reminding yourself that this is your time to care for yourself. Check out of reality. Finding moments where the eyes closed will help you better connect to your higher self. With the eyes closed, gently rise to seated. Rooting yourself down, rolling the shoulders down the back and tucking the tailbone under. You can rest the hands in your lap or on your knees. But once you feel nice and settled, begin to think about the word gratitude. What it means to you and what you are grateful for today. And let's seal that gratitude and deep breath in through your nose. Opening the mouth, exhale. And when you're ready, just gently walk those hands out in front of you, dropping your forehead nice and low. So your goal is to get the forehead all the way down to your mat, or maybe you try to rest your forearms all the way down. And you can rock the head from side to side. You want to think about letting go of tension in the back of the neck. Finding some space in your low back and your hips. Take some deep breaths in. And then gently roll all the way back up. You're going to place your hands right behind your seat, fingertips facing your seat. You're going to inhale, arch back. So lift the hips, arch back. Try to get your kneecaps to the mat. Squeeze your bum. Relax the back of your neck. Find that stretch in your throat. Deep breath in, exhale. 2 more, deep breath in. Let it go. Last, deep breath in. And exhale. Gently come back to seating. You're going to place that right hand on top of your left knee. Left hand goes behind you. Lift the chest up and over. Peel back the left shoulder. Find that twist. Gently releasing. Left hand goes to the right knee. Right hand goes behind you. Peel it back. Good, releasing back to center. Find your seated cat-cow. So you're gonna rest your hands on top of your knees. You're gonna round out the spine and shoulders. Think about creating a C curve, like sucking the belly in and round it out. And then push the chest through. Push your shoulders back, pulling it through. So rounding it out, pulling it through. So just like if you were doing cat-cows on your knees, but you're seated. Find that space in the mid-back. in the shoulders, in the chest when you pull it through. 2 more. Good. Let's take our seated side stretch. Left hand goes out towards your left hand side. The further away you have that hand from your body, the deeper the stretch. Right arm goes into the air. Gently move that left hand away from you. Find that stretch on your right side body. Practice turning your chest up towards the ceiling. Feel that lengthening happen. And switch other side. Left arm into the air. Move that right hand away from you. See what's going on the left hand side. Good, release. We're gonna go right into our tabletop and find our cat-cows on our hands and knees. So you're inhaling, crown of head to ceiling, stretching that belly, really exaggerating the movement and then rounding it back in. Inhaling, crown of head to ceiling. And exhaling, navel to spine. 1 more, inhale. Exhale, pull it in. From here, lower straight down to that puppy pose, so hips stay directly over your knees. Extend the arms out in front of you. Drop your chin or forehead down. Extend those arms out as far as you can, working on getting your chest nice and low. Gently pressing it back. Take that child's pose, knees wide, big toes to touch. Your arms are extended all the way out. You're rocking your hips and forehead from side to side. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and reconnect to that intention that you have set for yourself for practice tonight. And when you're ready, let's press it back to our down dog. Finding a little bit of movement, rocking from side to side, lengthening the calves. Noticing what it feels like in the hips, the calves this evening, spreading the fingers really wide. And then raise that right leg into the air, bend the knee, peel it open, opening up your hips. Draw some circles on the ceiling. You can go forward and backwards. Make sure you're pressing into your hands equally. Switching to the other side as you're ready. Drawing those circles on the ceiling. Both feet down. And then walk your feet and your hands to meet in a forward fold. Anywhere on the mat is fine. Just find your way to your first forward fold. Hang real heavy. Try to get your hands all the way down. Tuck your chin in. Shake the head, yes, no. Maybe sway a little bit. Noticing what the body feels like. The heavier the head and the front side body is, the more the back side will open up for you. Gently roll all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders down the back, tuck the tailbone under. Coming to your mountain pose. So you're gonna face, you're gonna be lengthwise. So normally we're at the top of our mat as we flow through sun salutations to begin, but we're gonna do something different called moon salutations. So you're gonna be facing, I guess, the length, the width of your mat. Have your hands at prayer, right at the center of the chest. Close the eyes for a moment, ground your feet down. Feel yourself rooted down. So when it comes to a full moon flow, when it comes to transitioning, it's always good to root down and then allow that energy to come up through the belly to the heart center and then all the way out the top of the head. So give yourself 2 breaths, focusing on drawing that breath up. So you're rooted down. Take a deep breath in. Let it travel all the way up to each chakra. Exhaling. One more, inhaling and exhaling. Good, reach those arms overhead. Roll your shoulders down your back and then clasp your hands. Find your way to point fingers. So your pointers are touching, they're fully extended. The rest of the hands are clasped. You're gonna reach up as high as you can. And then find that side stretch. So you're gonna push all the body weight into that right hip as you lean over. So you're trying to find that same stretch that we did on the other side when we were seated. But now we're standing, coming back to center, reaching up and switching other side. So push all the weight into that left hip, squeeze your glutes. And back to center, reaching up. We got one more each side. Each time getting a little bit deeper. And switching, last one. Good. From here, you're just gonna take a nice wide stance. So open your legs as wide as you can. Extend the arms all the way out to the side. And hold it here. So same thing we were doing, root yourself down, spread those fingers nice and wide. Roll the shoulders down the back, tuck the tailbone under. Deep breath in, let it go. Bring your hands to your waist, turn those toes out. So start to squat down nice and low. So it's goddess pose, so you're actively pushing these knees back. You're just gonna rock from side to side. Close the eyes, notice what it feels like in your hamstrings, your glutes. Draw up the belly button, so suck in the belly button, find that strength and power. And then come all the way back up, turn those toes in, and just fall into your wide-legged forward fold. Bend the knees, rock around, shake the head. Hands can be on the mat or resting on your book or blocks, just hanging as heavy as you can. Gently walk it over to your left heel. Sit down into that left heel. You're going to flex the right toes towards your face, finding your way to Skandasana, lengthening that inside of your right thigh, holding it here. And then going all the way back over to the other side, sitting into the right heel, lengthening the inside of the left leg, flexing those toes towards your face. One more, walk it over, keep the hands nice and low. Last one, right hand side. Good, turn those toes in, go to your wide-legged forward fold. Toes and heels out, just hanging real heavy here. Place your hands at your waist and gently roll all the way up to standing. You're going to turn your left toes to face out. Your right toes, your back foot is going to face forward still. So we're going to go into a triangle pose, so kind of like a windmill. And you can shorten your stance if you need. So you're going to extend, just like you would triangle pose, reach out as far as you can, and then drop that left hand down. Good. Imagine you are pressing your back flat against the wall. Holding it here. Gently bring the right hand down. Turn your back toes at a 45-degree angle, just lengthening the back of your left leg now. So you're folding over that left leg, dropping the head. Deep stretch in that hamstring. Good. From here, bring both hands inside that left foot. Turn those back toes all the way to face forward and gently lower down into your lizard pose. So your deepest expression of lizard pose. And every day could be a little different. Rock your hips, loosen up a little bit. Good, then rise back up onto your hands and shimmy that left foot to the center of your mat. Bring your hands to your waist, push your hips forward. Feel the lengthening of the muscles. And then clasp the hands behind the back, going into your Kapiasana. So moving the shoulders away from the ears. Core is nice and engaged. Gently releasing to your wide-legged forward fold. Walking those hands all the way over to the right. Toes in, heels out. And getting nice and loose here. So always feel free to bend the knees and rock. Tuck the forehead in, chin in, loosen up. You can have the hands resting on your mat on a block, or you can grab opposite elbows. Grabbing opposite elbows and hanging is going to take you deeper, so if you're feeling flexible, you can go there. Good, let's rise all the way back up again. You're turning your right toes now to face forward. Back toes are facing straight out. Extend to your triangle pose. Extend that right arm all the way out. Left arm goes into the air. Drop into that triangle pose on the other side. Turn that chest up towards the ceiling. Nice flat back. Keep the core nice and tight. Good, gently rotate the chest down, turn your feet 45-degree angle, going into the hamstring stretch, right hand side. Just folding over the right leg, dropping the head nice and low. Bringing both hands inside that right foot, turning your back toes to face forward, gently lowering to that lizard pose, other side, right toes hang off the mat. Get those forearms down, rock from side to side. Coming up onto those hands, shimmy that right foot to the center of your mat. Hands go to your waist, push the hips forward, finding your way to your Kapiasana, clasping the hands behind the back, move the shoulders away from your ears. Good, releasing those hands, go back to that wide-legged forward fold, turn those toes in, heels out, hang nice and heavy. Make sure you're shaking the head, loosening the neck up, then tucking the chin in, bringing your forehead through your legs. Then walk those hands back over to that left heel, so going back to your Skandasana, lengthening the inside of that right leg. This time I want you to bring that left arm all the way past your left knee. So you can either have the right arm into the air, peeling back that right arm, or you can try taking a bind if you can reach, clasping the hands behind you. What's most important though is you are turning your gaze up towards the ceiling, opening up the heart space. Good, release, switch all the way over to the other side. So dropping into that right heel, taking a moment to lengthen the inside of that left thigh. Right arm goes past that right knee. You're either just reaching up towards the ceiling or possibly taking the bind on the other side if it feels right. Practicing peeling open the shoulder. Release right back to that wide-legged forward fold. Toes in, heels out. Hang the head. Gently bringing your hands all the way to the waist and rolling all the way up to standing. Turning those toes out, going into that second goddess pose. So toes out, tuck the tailbone under, sit nice and low. Rock those hips from side to side. Without using your hands, actively push those knees back down behind you. Last 2 breaths. Good, come to standing. Shimmy those feet in together. Let's lower down to our frog pose. So come onto your mat. Open those knees nice and wide. Find that tabletop position. Look behind you. Make sure your ankles are in line with your knees. Toes out to the side. Drop yourself nice and low. Working on one knee and getting that belly down. And noticing the sensations in the body, in the hips, inside of the thighs. Deep breath in, letting it go. Good, gently draw those heels in, find your way to your child's pose. So knees nice and wide, big toes are touching, extending the arms out in front of you, rocking your hips from side to side. Come back to your intention for a moment, so reminding yourself why you arrived. And then press it back, take your down dog. Deep breath in, root your feet down. Spread those fingers. Press the palms down. Deep inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Walk your feet and hands to meet. Take your next forward fold, knees slightly bent. Grab opposite elbows, tuck that chin in, sway left and right. And gently place your hands down on the mat. Open your feet the width of your mat. Turn your toes out. Gently begin to rock down into your Malasana Yogi squat. So tucking the tailbone under. Bringing those hands to heart center. Pushing the knees back behind. Finding that hip opener. If you need to sit on something, you can. But you want the hips to feel like you're opening. If you don't like Malasana or it bothers you, you can always go back to frog. It basically does the same thing. It works on the same areas. So you can go back to frog if you don't want to do Malasana. But you want to open the hips, pulling the chest through. Let's go ahead and take a heart opener from here. So just like when we were in Skandasana, take that left hand, bring it all the way past the left knee. Right arm goes into the air. You're peeling your chest to open up towards the ceiling. If you want to take the bind, you can reach the hand behind you and take the bind if you're feeling flexible in the shoulders. If not, just reach that arm up. Turn your chest up towards the ceiling and release. Hands back to center. Push those hips back. Pull the shoulders down. Switch, other side. So that right hand goes all the way past the right knee. Turn that chest up, left arm into the air, peel it open. Good, release right back to center. Pressing those knees behind you, tucking the tailbone under, rocking from side to side. Inhale through the nose, opening the mouth, exhale. Good, release into your forward fold. So coming to standing, knees slightly bent, just hang there for a moment, see what's going on. Where do you feel tight? Do you feel tight in the hips and low back? Are you feeling loose today? Go ahead and walk your hands out to your down dog. Again, rooting yourself down, spreading the fingers nice and wide, sending the heels down. Rock from side to side. Find some extra space in your hips. Good. Raise your left leg into the air. Bend the knee. Peel it open. Open up your hip. Let's step it forward. Let's take a high lunge. All toes facing forward. Rise up. Hands at your waist. Lengthening that right leg. Sitting nice and low, finding the stretch in the hip flexor, in the quad, and then opening up, taking your warrior two. So just like we were in goddess pose, actively without using your hands, push that leg behind you, extend the arms all the way out, roll the shoulders down the back, and reverse it. Turn the chest up towards the ceiling, reach the arm into the air, keep a deep bend, and that knee landing into your extended side angle. So resting your forearm on that left leg, right arm goes into the air, overhead, peel your chest up towards the ceiling, keep sitting nice and low. Good, release, right hand down, left hand down, lizard pose. Both hands inside the left foot, lowering it down, rocking those hips. You won't be here long, so just noticing if you're loosening up, observing those sensations in the body and what the body's trying to tell you. Coming up onto the hands, walking it over to the right, go back to that wide-legged forward fold. Each time your hamstrings are getting longer. If you can rest your hands all the way down to the floor, think about pushing your bum back, rocking yourself forward onto your hands, and then pushing your bum back. If not, you can always just rest your forearms on your book. You can always grab opposite elbows. If you're rocking, make sure those sits bones are nice and high. Pushing back, find that hamstring stretch, so go to your deepest. Then walk it all the way over to the right foot. Let's rise up. Take that high lunge. Rest the hands at your waist, lengthening that left quad and hip flexor, tucking the tailbone under, rolling the shoulders down the back. Opening it up. Take that warrior two. Deep bend in that front knee. Extend the arms out. Roll the shoulders down, tucking the tailbone under. Turning it up, reversing it, opening up the heart space to gently land into that extended side angle, resting your forearm on that right leg, left arm into the air, peeling it open. Releasing into that lizard pose, turning everything down towards the mat, lowering yourself down, both hands inside that right foot, rock from side to side. Coming back up onto the hands, back over to that wide-legged forward fold. So I want you to do what is feeling right for you. So if it feels good to do the rocking, stay with the rocking. If it feels better for you to grab opposite elbows, grab opposite elbows. Close your eyes and go towards the hamstring stretch. Find that space in the back of the legs. That's where I want you to hold it. Then bring your hands to your waist, engage the core, gently roll right back up to standing. Turn those toes out, finding that goddess pose. Last one, sitting nice and low. Turn those knees out. If you want to challenge yourself, you could practice rising up onto your toes and sitting lower and holding it there. Last two breaths. You can also reach the arms overhead and hold it there. Release, wide-legged forward fold. Turn those toes back in. Give yourself a moment to hang. Good. Walk those hands all the way over to that left foot. Lower the back knee and foot down. Bring your hands and rest them on top of the left knee, pushing the hips forward. And then from here, you have the option to go to a hamstring stretch and just hang out in that hamstring stretch. If you want to practice your split, you can extend one leg out, then the back leg, bend the front knee, hold it up nice and high. You won't have time to really settle into it with your blocks, but you can decide where you want to go. If you're practicing the split, you're working the hamstring on the left-hand side and your hip flexors on the right-hand side. So you're doing two things in once. But if you'd rather just rock it back to the hamstring stretch, do that. If you're taking that baby dragon, knee bent, engage the core, draw it in, and we're all gonna rock it forward, back to our wide-legged forward fold, toes in, heels out. Go back to your rocking, what's working for you, finding that space in your hamstrings. The sits bones are nice and high. Last two rocks. Good. Walk it over to that right foot. Lower the back knee and foot down. You're resting your hands on top of the right knee. You're pushing your hips forward as much as you can. You're going to prepare yourself for either your baby dragon, your split practice, or your hamstring stretch. Go ahead and go into it now, whichever one you're taking. If you're taking that baby dragon, you're extending both legs out, keeping the hips square, keeping that front knee bent. If you're taking the hamstring stretch, you're dropping your forehead down to your knee the best you can. Flexing the toes towards your face. If you're taking your baby dragon, draw that right heel in. Let's all transition right back to that wide-legged forward fold. Toes in, heels out. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Another deep breath in. Let it go. Walk those hands over to your left foot. Go ahead and flow through vinyasa. Elbows in nice and tight. Lower yourself down. Take your up dog. Pause here in this up dog. Squeeze your bum. Just rock your hips from side to side, opening up the heart space. Press it back. You're going to go ahead and take your child's pose. Knees nice and wide. Big toes to touch. Lay it down. Every time your forehead touches the mat, remind yourself of your intention. Gently roll yourself all the way up to seated. Come onto your bum. We're going to take our seated wide-legged forward fold. So it'll help you if you have your heels on your mat, or if you're on carpet, that's good too, or a rug. So open your legs as wide as you can. Place your hands underneath you, and if you have tight hips, grab your blankets or your throw pillows, put it underneath your bum. Lift yourself, push your hips forward as much as you can. You don't want to have a rounded back. You want to practice moving that pelvic area forward. So if you're rounded out, put something underneath your butt. Force yourself to push your hips forward, and then walk those hands out as far as you can. So you can walk your hands out and just hold here and drop the head. Or if you have a block or anything, you can always rest your forearms on it and drop your head. What's most important is that you are rocking the hips forward and resting there. Relax the back of the neck. With the eyes closed, noticing the sensations, especially in the hips, in the glutes, in the inside of the thighs. Is there any resistance? Is there any tension? And how can you soften it? We got 4 more breaths here. Do your best to surrender. If you can get a little lower or extend the arms out a little more or drop down, do so. Good. Roll yourself all the way back up. Put your hands underneath your knees, bend your knees, pull your legs together. Depending on how tight you are, that may feel a little intense to do that. Extend those legs out in front of you. Super intense, right? Move those sits bones, lift the chest, just walk the hands out. You're grabbing the toes. If you're super tight in those hamstrings tonight, you can just bend the knees and grab underneath the thigh, underneath the calves and drop the head. Roll all the way back up. Take your butterfly position. Soles of the feet touching. Diamond shape with the legs. Holding the feet. Pushing the knees down. You want those knees nice and low one day. So you're actively pushing down, dropping your forehead. Should feel this in the outside of your hips here. Make it active. Bring the forehead nice and low. Good, release. Extend those legs all the way out and roll all the way onto your back. Drawing the knees into your chest. Go to your happy baby. Soles of the feet facing the ceiling. Knees outside the arms and elbows. Tuck the chin in, rock from side to side. So really important you keep that low back down. You can bend the elbows a little bit and see if you can get the knees a little closer to the floor beside you. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. Opening the mouth, letting go. Gently draw the knees into the center of the chest. Find your twist. Knees go to the left, gaze goes to the right. Keep those shoulders down. And switch other side. So knees go to the right. Turn the gaze to the left. Shoulders stay down. Coming back to center, extend those legs all the way down the mat. Arms by your side, eyes closed. Prepare yourself for Shavasana and for your deep full moon meditation. So get as relaxed as possible. You can rest your head on a pillow maybe, or you can grab a blanket if you need. You can dim the lights, you can turn the music down low. Just allow yourself to settle. Scanning the body and making sure the body is fully relaxed. Letting go of any tension in the toes, the legs, the knees, the thighs. Softening the belly and the chest, the shoulders. Letting the face be soft. The eyelids are heavy. Even relaxing the top of your head. The whole body is heavy. Focusing on your breath. Go deep into your breath. This full moon that we're experiencing is a super moon, a super full moon. And this is the last one of the year. This moon is meant to help us illuminate things that we maybe need to release, bringing a sense of closure and deeper understanding. And while this super moon is intense and detoxifying, it also has a sweetness to it. And it reminds us to find the beauty and gratitude in the path that we've walked so far. That transition of where you were at a few months ago to where you're at now. And usually under a Scorpio full moon, you'll find yourself a bit more intuitive. Your senses are more heightened. So listen to that higher self. And imagine that you are laying outside on a beach, anywhere in the world that you choose. It is safe on this beach and you are protected. And you're just resting, lying there on the sand. Allow it to transition to evening. The sky is dark. But above you, you notice a bright, full moon shining down on you. In Native American culture, the full moon is known as the grandmother because she's wise. So take a moment to notice what it feels like to lie under that wisdom. And then somewhere on your beach, you see a door. And I want you to get up and walk over to the door. And as you get to the handle of the door, turn it, open the door, and go down the stairs. It's a spiral staircase going down. Begin to go down the stairs. It's dark, but if you keep going, you'll start to notice light. Keep going. As you begin to get further down the spiral staircase, you start to notice a light shining. Keep going down towards the light. And as you reach the bottom step, a large room opens up, and everything in the room is gold and shiny. And you look far in the distance, and you see your future self standing there. She is beautiful. Take a moment to sit down with your future self and ask her anything you need to know. Whatever questions you have, ask her and listen to the answers. Begin to say your goodbyes. And when you're ready to leave her, begin to travel back up the spiral staircase. When you reach the door, go back to that spot you were lying on the beach underneath the full moon. A moment to notice what it feels like to lie underneath that light of wisdom. Gently begin to wiggle the toes and the fingers, rocking the head from side to side. And take your time and find your way to your fetal position on the right hand side. And pause there in that fetal position. Take a moment to notice what it felt like to speak to your future self. That future self is your higher self. You have all the answers that you need within you. You just have to listen. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up to your practice this evening. Gently rise to seated with the eyes closed. Placing your left hand at your heart and the right hand on top of your left. Pressing into your chest. Silently say to yourself, I am powerful. Deep breath in through your nose. Opening the mouth, let it go. Holding this feeling of peace within you. I'm trusting that the universe brought you here this evening to practice with me. And these people, for a reason. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. And may you be whole. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.